How High the Moon. And in this video, I'm going to go over what we call setups, 2-5-1 setups to a major key, to a minor key, and how to switch them around and, have a little fun with them. So like and subscribe and follow me all the way to the end if you would, please. It really helps the channel. Here we go. Now you could start off like with a suspended chord, resolve it, put a flat 9 in, and here you could use the diminished chord, right? A lot of times this is substituted for the 1 chord, and we could add these whole tone extensions onto the notes. So any note in the diminished chord can get a note that's a whole step above, and the melody note here is also a whole step above that one. So first chord could be that, and then resolve it to the G major 7th. And then you could use a little drop 2 there if you wanted to. I started with a G6 like this, and then diminished chord up to G minor, and of course the drop 2 means you take the second note from the top, drop it down an octave, and usually you get rid of this the doubled note. So you drop this one down an octave and you get rid of the doubled note, and you got 4 notes, and it's a major, diminished, and then a minor. All right. And then we've got C7th. You could do the same thing there. Just a little quick diminished chord there. So you've got some inner voicings going on here if you want to use them. Now, here comes our first setup. Well, it's not really our first, but we're going to G minor. Typically, it's a minor 7 flat 5 to an altered dominant. Could be a flat 9, could be a sharp 9, could have a flat 13 on it. But here we're using an unaltered dominant chord, and you'd expect it to go to G major, and it does later on in the song. We'll do this, but here in the first part of the song, you got to remember, go to a minor chord here. All right, now we come to the same setup, but it looks like a setup for a minor chord. So we do A minor 7th, and then we've got a D7 with a flat 9. Typically, that setup will lead to a minor, but in this song, it goes to the major. So you got 2 setups in a row that kind of surprise the listener. And if you're improvising on this, I would try to keep that first setup there as, an unaltered thing. So you're going to use mostly the G major scale until you get to G minor. And then use, whatever you normally use for a 2-5-1 here. It could be Locrian, right? That's like the B flat major scale, and then maybe the altered scale. It just sounds like it wants to go to G minor, but of course it doesn't. It goes right to that G major, and then we've got another 2-5. All right, and here I'm going to show you a bunch of crazy turnarounds. All right, so you got B minor, B flat dominant, A minor, and it could be A flat maybe, but 2-5 to G major. All right, let me just, and this happens later in the song, kind of in a different spot. Instead of the end of a 4-bar phrase, it's at the beginning of a 4-bar phrase, right there at the end of the song. So here we've got some big open voicings. I'm going to show you a bunch of turnarounds on that are going to blow your mind. But first, let's just do some improv. All right, so right here, we're getting to the 3, 6, 2, 5. Now, think about when you go down to a diminished chord, B flat diminished to A minor. It's a very typical, chord progression there. It kind of takes the place of, the dominant motion there. Think of all the dominant 7th chords you could make from this. You could make an E flat, right? So why not just substitute E flat there? So go B minor, E flat, A minor, D. Now there's other ones you can do there. You could do F sharp, right? Because from this diminished chord, this is Barry Harris shit right here, okay? All right, you got F sharp 7th. So why not just do an F sharp 7th? You see, it sounds wrong and right at the same time. I guess because of the chromatic motion there, you can't go wrong. Another thing you could use would be A 7th. This is more Barry Harris stuff, so. Of course, going to an A minor there is not, you don't have any root movement. You could also go to C dominant, right? Because, these 4 dominants, they're minor thirds apart, coming from that diminished chord, which is also minor thirds, so. I don't know if you could hear it, but it kind of works. And then, sometimes you could take these diminished chords, these dominant chords, to where they want to go, like F major, and then back to D. If we go to E flat 7th, of course, it doesn't support the melody. But if we're improvising, it doesn't matter, So just thinking that E flat dominant. Let's try the F sharp dominant now. Well, I just did it as a diminished chord, so of course it's going to work, but. And I tried to make it like an unaltered thing, so you could really hear, the out of placeness. It sounds like it's in, jumping in the wrong place, but then it seems to work. Yeah, because they think if you had a diminished chord, it sounds just fine. So, and this stuff will work when you're improvising. Using those different dominants. E flat, right, to A minor. F sharp. And I've talked about this stuff a lot, so just about any video I did on a standard in the past year, I've talked about this way of substituting different dominant chords in place of what would be the 3 chord, the flat 3 chord, as a diminished chord. Another place this will work too, and doesn't happen in this song, but if you have like a, you're getting to the C major in the key of G. But, it's really exactly the same thing. If you're moving towards C, just think of the key of C, and you can do the same kind of thing right there. Like... So it could be like, that was a B seventh, A flat seventh, F seventh, D seventh. That's a song called It Might As Well Be Spring. And it's one of the songs I've been working on to try to get my left hand to learn how to play left-hand bass. And I think I've got it. Though improvising over it is another story altogether. Not quite there yet in the improv department. You can turn the minor chords into dominant chords. You can go B seventh. Those were all dominant chords. B dominant, right? Because see, there it is. No. Well, thanks everyone for making it all the way to the end of the video. I appreciate the support over there on Patreon or through PayPal. But, more than anything else, just like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks everyone. Bye.